With classrooms of 30 students with different strengths and areas of need, it is increasingly difficult to know what skills your students have learned and what skills they have yet to master. Especially when some students have gaps going back multiple years, while others know this year's skills and are ready to move on. iReady Diagnostic pinpoints student performance and growth, drills down to the root causes behind student challenges, and gives you the tools to differentiate instruction for all students. So what is iReady Diagnostic? iReady Diagnostic is a computer adaptive test built specifically to address the K through 12 Common Core state standards for both reading and mathematics. The diagnostic prepares students and teachers for the transition to the Common Core by tracking student proficiency on these more rigorous standards and providing detailed and actionable data to inform instruction. And because the diagnostic measures all students on the same scale, educators can use iReady as their student growth measure from year to year to year. The diagnostic starts by adapting to each student, meaning every question presented depends on students' answers to previous questions. By adjusting the difficulty of the items presented, iReady Diagnostic accurately assesses student proficiency and progress at the sub-skill level. Here, we see a second grade reading student, Sarah, who is having trouble in phonics overall. But if we zoom in, we see that she's really struggling with vowel sounds. It seems she never mastered this prerequisite skill. After identifying student strengths and areas of need, iReady provides you with a detailed instructional roadmap for each student, so you can quickly identify Sarah's strengths in key domains, then easily identify the skills that you should target next for instruction. As you work to strengthen students' areas of need, iReady's progress monitoring assessments can be administered in between the diagnostic assessments to see whether students are on track to meet end-of-year goals. These shorter assessments can be administered as often as every 2 weeks. If you're ready to get started, all you need is a computer with an internet connection. Your designated account manager will help you set up all of your classes in iReady, and then the diagnostic assessment will be automatically assigned to your students. Here's a checklist to help you prepare. Start off by framing the diagnostic for students. Be sure that they understand that iReady is a very different kind of test. Let's take a closer look at the program to see what we mean.
Which is the correct meaning of the word careful? Be careful when you handle glass objects so they don't break. Which word means the same as rock? Marco picked up a smooth gray rock on the beach. Choose the best word to complete this sentence. We ate at the park. Look at the pictures. Choose the picture that shows cheering.
So, what did you notice? After a series of incorrect answers, the diagnostic adapted down based on the student's responses. The diagnostic gives each student an individualized test based on how he answers each question. If he answers a question correctly, iReady will give a harder question. And if he misses a question, iReady will give an easier question. The test is therefore able to meet each student at his unique level. Next, be sure to discuss test-taking instructions. Make sure students know how to log in, as well as how to answer questions and move on to the next one. Also, make sure students understand the rules for your school's computer lab or classroom computers. Finally, check for all needed materials. Each child will need a computer with a power source and an internet connection, as well as access to headphones, because iReady does include audio to assess listening comprehension. Now, you're ready to administer the diagnostic. Here are a few important directions. Although most students will finish the test in about 30 to 45 minutes, we do recommend allocating 2 sessions so that students don't feel rushed. Next, have students go to www.i-ready.com. When a student first logs in, they'll be prompted to select an iReady study buddy, a character that will follow them through the program, and a background theme to personalize their iReady experience. And then they will be prompted to begin the test. The diagnostic starts off with a quick tutorial so that students understand what to do. And then, students will be assessed across the key Common Core reading domains, giving you valuable insight into students' proficiency levels. Now that you understand what iReady Diagnostic is and how it works, you're likely wondering whether it will meet the needs of your students. Diverse student groups experience success with iReady largely due to its adaptive nature, meeting students in their zone of proximal development, but also because the structure of the program supports different learners. With respect to students needing further enrichment, general and special education populations, and English language learners, iReady incorporates numerous forms of support. The diagnostic adapts across multiple grade levels, providing insight into the areas where your gifted students are ready to be further challenged. Because of this adaptivity, iReady is able to support students who are performing below, on, and above level, providing a valid and reliable measure of growth for your entire district. Accurate instructional placement and ongoing progress monitoring, driven by an untimed adaptive assessment, support your students with special needs, thereby providing insight into the progress of students who may be multiple grades behind. While audio, visual, and tactile components help highly distractible students stay focused and feel successful. Then, iReady's user-friendly reports detail skills mastered and next steps for instruction, and are accompanied by suggested activities and actionable teaching strategies, a great resource for IEP writing. Next, differentiated instruction is automatically assigned based on the diagnostic results, and supplemental instructional lesson plans provide extra support for teachers and special education assistants. An emphasis on academic language used in context is critical for your English language learners. In iReady, academic vocabulary is defined in context and appears in the online instructional modules. And to ensure understanding, directions are either read aloud, demonstrated visually, or generally self-evident, regardless of language abilities. And audio prompts can be repeated as often as necessary. Here's just one example of the support embedded within iReady. The instructional grouping report groups students to make it easier to differentiate instruction. Then, for reading, every profile at every grade level has specific instructional recommendations to support English learners. As you can see, iReady Diagnostic is a valid and reliable adaptive test that is easy to use and will provide you with actionable insight to meet the needs of your diverse learners. So, are you ready for iReady?